Happy New Year, all you radical Batman dudes and dudettes. Toy here, and I'm back yet again with another news video. And today we're going to be talking about the newly unveiled, as of, well, midnight last night, pretty much. Entertainment Earth took to their YouTube to reveal the brand new Spin Master license that took over for some of the Batman figures from Mattel. They did a full reveal of their upcoming 4-inch figures. There are different figures and also some role-playing gear and things like that, a Batmobile, but yeah, the main majority of these figures will be in the 4-inch scale. There's some blind box elements, some trading cards, some kind of rarity and super rare and things like that. So sit back, relax, I'm going to walk you through it, and if at any time you'd like to pre-order any of these things, I'll have all the links down in the description below. So let's do it. This is the brand new Batman figures slash DC Comics figures from Spin Master. Now, the first figures they're offering are a 12-inch line, and these are kind of similar to the Mattel Batman missions, including a lot of them are actually similar to that, slash the Imaginext, a little bit here and there. Just kind of seems like they took from that, but there will be a Robin figure, also a Harley Quinn, and a lot of these figures look to kind of borrow from their Rebirth costumes, maybe the New 52, just more of those new types of costumes for the DC Comics characters. There'll also be a Batman in his blue getup. Each one of these figures for the 12-inch line will feature 11 points of articulation. So they're a little bit more articulated than those standard quote-unquote shampoo bottles that Hasbro does with some of those Marvel characters. Then they look okay. That's all I can say, is that they look okay. I think it's a good line for children if you really want DC Comics figures. But they'll also have a Joker figure as a tactical suit Batman. And again, I have the 1939 Batman figure that Mattel put out just before the end of their run with these Batman figures, and I enjoy him a lot. He's got a cloth cape, much like these do as well. Just not sold. These are not my type of figures, so I won't be getting those, but you give me a 1939 Batman any day of the week, and I'm definitely there. And of course, one of the last Batman type figures will be a classic suit, sort of a Rebirth Batman. It's the closest one you're going to get to a standard looking Batman. I don't understand the almost the knees type boots. It's just not something I want to see in a Batman. But they'll also be diving into some other DC Comics characters like Superman. So you get a 12-inch Superman with 11 points of articulation. And again, he's kind of got the Rebirth costume on. Not my favorite. I wish they would have done classic with these. I think they would kind of go a little bit better. There's also the Flash. He's kind of the classic, but he does have some of those sculpted lines that are kind of associated with the Rebirth kind of costumes, Jim Lee redesigns. Same thing with Shazam. So you get Superman, Flash, Shazam as the more extended versions of the DC Comics lineup, while primarily focusing this round on Batman. And, you know, I would say Batman sells, so I think it's a good jumping off point. There's also going to be some roleplay elements. There'll be a Batman talking mask and a Batman gauntlet that'll make noise and do sounds and be a fun thing for kids. There's also going to be a Batman Deluxe 12-inch action figure. It's the Rapid Change Utility Belt. It'll have lights and sounds, and it's sort of like a swap out kind of thing. You have the Bat Claw, the Bat Torch, the Bat Blaster, all the weapons fit in his utility belt. You squeeze his legs, and Batman kind of rotates and starts flinging them out, and it sounds cool. I hope it works as good as it kind of sounds, but it's supposed to boast some interesting fun play for children. Again, most of these are for children, even though they're kind of in the video saying it's for collectors and collectability, but let's be honest, these are children's type Batman toys. Case in point, we have these 2-inch minifigure displays with various characters, which actually have some fan favorites, like Bane, and he looks pretty big and menacing, very light on the paint and the sculpt, but you also have Batgirl. You have a cool, I guess, they're going for a black and white Batman, but he kind of is more like black and silver Batman on this guy. Clayface, which I'll admit is kind of Batman the Animated Series looking, just in terms of this photo. You have that new Harley Quinn outfit that just doesn't really do much for me. The Joker looking, kind of basic. You also got Dick Grayson's Nightwing, which he does look cool. It's kind of like that new Rebirth costume. And surprisingly, we're also getting a Jason Todd red hood, so he looks good. And then also a Damian Wayne Robin, and he's just a little off in the colors. You kind of get a classic sort of Super Friends looking Scarecrow, and then you also have a Batman costume. I don't know, it's a little darker in the shade, but I'm curious if it's a tactical suit. But it'll come in one of these Batman looking egg canisters, and it's a blind bag, and you pop it open, and bingo bango, you got your 2.5-inch figure. Now finally we're getting into the 4-inch line, and in all honesty, in the video, the gentleman had said that these are going to be collectibles, and 4-inch, they're excited to see they could bring back, have a renaissance in the 4-inch line. Well, Jazzwares and their Fortnite figures did that already, and when you give me 11 points of articulation on a 4-inch figure, it looks very basic. Jazzwares is doing a large amount of articulation, really detailed figures, a lot of weapons, but I digress. We will be getting a 4-inch line, and again, I have to keep in mind, everyone has to keep in mind, these are going to be geared more towards children, while McFarlane does the more collector-friendly for the older audience. So maybe you could collect the McFarlane ones and have these ones for the kiddos. It could be their entry into the Batman lineup. But basically, we have Batman, Joker, Robin, and they will boast 3 mystery accessories in hidden compartments on the card. You also get a collectible trading card as well. It can be anything from shields, blasters, bat gear accessories. Some are more rare than others. Some are super rare. Some of the actual figures themselves will have like a carbonized look to them, more of like a sheen. Those will be like a rare sort of, chase figure, first edition, yada yada. But it's nice to see some fan favorites again, like Nightwing. There's also going to be a Manbat figure, and like I said, Joker right now. So there are some good characters, I think, for the first lineup. I'm not stoked on 11 points of articulation. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, and I'm being completely honest. Sure, a lot of people are stoked, and you can do a lot with the 4-inch figures. Like I said, we're gonna have vehicles. I think, honestly, I'll give him the Manbat. I think Manbat looks pretty cool. I'll give him on that. Looks like he's got some removable wings, so he looks good. And then in talking about like those rare figures, there'll be so far revealed, a golden Batman. Don't know why you'd want a golden Batman. Sort of like a first edition thing. Collectors, if you want, you can definitely go and get it. Then there's also going to be a Bat Cycle kind of sort of playset. It comes with a more advanced suit Batman with some claw dagger, gauntlet accessories, and then a Clayface figure. Clayface looks good. Batman looks to fit on the motorcycle, and like I said, you can do more with vehicles and such. I think a lot of people are going for that. I would just argue that these figures aren't exactly what you want to see in terms of paint and articulation, but simple is always a good way to go sometimes, so I gotta give it to him in that sense. Then finally, there will be a 4-inch scale Batmobile / Batboat transforming vehicle. It's a 2-in-1. I actually think that of all the reveals next to Manbat, this Batmobile doesn't look too half bad. It's very reminiscent of Kenner. It's having 2 vehicles in one. I could imagine, the old Batmobile, the Batman Returns, Batman animated series. It's there. It's very nostalgic. I totally get it. I think the Batmobile does look pretty good. So I'm kind of interested in seeing this. But I am curious to know what you guys think about these newly revealed Spin Master Batman figures. Do keep in mind, before you go off on a tangent, that these are geared more towards children, and McFarlane will be tackling the more collector-friendly figures and vehicles. And just remember that we all grew up with Kenner stuff. We grew up with very basic figures. So try to remember that when you do comment. And I am curious to know, what do you guys think in terms of the collectability? Is the blind bag situation working for you? The collector card, the more super rare stuff? Is that something you want to see in a Batman line? Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything new Batman Spin Master figures. Again, if you are interested in pre-ordering any of these figures, I will have links down below, whether it's be to Entertainment Earth or to Amazon. And it does help the channel when you do use my links. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, don't be using that 4-inch figures take up less room than 6-inch figures thing. You know what you said. That video, come on. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.